Recently, the New Zealand government scrapped the clean car discount introduced by the preceding Labour government. This was a controversial move. It goes without saying that transport creates a huge number of carbon emissions. These carbon emissions contribute to climate change. Climate change is, of course, a bad thing. It leads to increased rates of extreme weather events. Extreme weather events kill people and cost an enormous amount of money to deal with. Climate change is a serious threat to national security and economic prosperity. It should be taken very seriously. I do support some kind of electric vehicle incentive or subsidy. Electric vehicles are part of the solution. They do contribute to reduced carbon emissions. Some point out that simply creating electric vehicles produces significant carbon emissions. This is true, but once produced, they create far less emissions than regular cars. They are not perfect, nothing is, but they are much better than regular gas-guzzling cars. Subsidizing them is a good move. It may cost money, but dealing with a huge climate crisis costs a lot more money. This is a good investment, a necessary investment. I want subsidies and incentives for electric vehicles. Having said that, I did dislike the Labour government's means of funding this policy. I disagreed with the ute tax. The ute tax was stupid. Some jobs require a ute. People should not be punished for the job they work. But we should still have a subsidy. You can subsidize electric vehicles without raising taxes on ute owners. The money can easily come from other places. I want to encourage electric vehicle ownership with carrots, not sticks. Reward people, don't punish them, especially when their only crime is working a job that requires a ute. If affordable, good quality electric utes enter the market, then that changes things. Perhaps a ute tax would make more sense in that context. But for now, a ute tax does not make any sense. Some people argue that public transport should be a priority if we want to lower our carbon emissions. I do agree with this. A good public transport network could lower transport emissions considerably. We need more buses, we need light rail. We should have free public transport in major cities. This reduces emissions significantly, and it also gives people freedom of movement. It broadens housing and employment prospects for people by making movement easier. Public transport is good, but it is not the be-all and end-all. Electric vehicles are also important. Our population is simply not large enough or concentrated enough for public transport to be sufficient. We are not a city-state. We are a large country with a small population and lots of small towns. Public transport is a great policy in big cities, but in places with smaller populations, it is often unviable. Electric vehicles are a better option. The solution is electric vehicles and public transport. No single policy will address climate change. Comprehensive, diverse policies are required. A complex issue requires complex solutions. Public transport and incentives for electric vehicles are two parts of that solution.